Welcome to Backstage with Kennedy. This little show will be your remedy. From Toronto, spanning across the sea. Cool people, lots of laughs. This is
Hello and welcome. My name's Kennedy from the Backstage with Kennedy podcast. I got a really cool guest today, something that we haven't really done before. But there's a first for everything, and I'm excited for this one. So we got a gentleman by the name of Patrick here. He is the organizer of a festival in Quebec called Phoque OFF. And you know what? I like the concept of it. Just spoke to him a little bit about it, and the DIY aspect is really, really cool. So I think this is something that is really intriguing. So how you doing today, Patrick? What's up, man?
I'm pretty good, actually. That's cool. We're working on the show right now for the next festival, since we're turning to a virtual version this year. We couldn't do anything else anyways. So we kind of taped a bunch of shows last week in Quebec City, and now we're taping a bunch of shows in Montreal. So that's why I'm in that hotel room right now.
Very cool. So yeah, you mentioned virtual. Obviously, with COVID, we'd prefer that it was in person. And I think everybody, all the people who go to the festival would enjoy that as well. For this, what are some of the barriers you're finding this time around because it's virtual opposed to your average year?
Well, first of all, the Phoque OFF is a kind of it's a music festival, but it's also a music conference at the same time. Mm-hmm. So basically, we always have two kinds of experiences. We have two kinds of badges: the pro badge and the public badge. So like the public normally goes to the Phoque OFF to discover new bands and to get into that up and coming vibe. That's like we give every genres a chance, and every kind of artists. And for the pros, all the professionals that comes to the festival actually comes also to discover new bands, and like to network with the other DIY like professionals in the scene. We've been noticing in the last years that basically there was this huge industry, and there was all this alternative industry that was that was DIY. So by definition, they're independent, so they don't necessarily work together. They all know each other. They all see themselves in the backstage or something like that, but they never really work together.
Yeah.
So the idea of the festival was to create an event where all these proactive professionals in the DIY scene could land in a few days and talk about all the problems and all the great solutions they got, and present their artists and their new form of arts. And like the whole idea is to actually create new bridges and new inspire each other, actually.
Okay.
And so basically that's this. And since we didn't like the concept of the showcase, we've decided to invite the public and give the public a real space. So when bands come and showcase their art, you get the real feel. You as a professional, you don't see the band playing in front of 15 or 100 professionals that are like, no, that's not good. Yeah, that's good. We wanted to have that vibe, so we created a huge party, a huge celebration of the independent scene. And we started out in Quebec City. At first, it was very small, but last year, for example, we had 1,000 pros from all across the world, all over the world, mostly from the province of Quebec, but more and more from the outside of Quebec also. And this year, since it's virtual, we felt there was an interest from all other countries actually. So we've decided to explode that and to create bridges that the virtual aspect of the festival was letting us was making possible this year actually, because like for example, for in the morning we're gonna have meetings with people from Europe or Africa or Asia, or like we have a lot of people that wanted to come into our scene, and a lot of our scene, like as musicians, we need to export ourselves. So we wanted to give our scene, our community, a space to actually connect with people from all across the world. So this year, this festival is kind of it's crystallizing the concept of our two main publics. So like the public part of it will be really are going to be shows that like all the shows of the festival will be in the evening for the public, and you're going to be able to watch it in a stream device in which you can chat with all the people in the room. And all the pros are going to be in another platform that we created that is basically it's kind of a closed Facebook. So we're building a professional community. So people can talk and have their specific conferences, panels, and like really discuss about different subjects. We give them access to mental health professionals too, since it's the COVID and it's kind of a hard time for the music business. We really wanted to give a space for people to connect and discuss and kind of forget the COVID factor for a little while.
Yeah.
And we even found a way to actually create virtual reality shows where people are gonna become avatars and like go watch the shows in like virtual worlds that we like, totally weird worlds. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
I'm into it. So one word that you mentioned a couple times there, which I'm super I want to emphasize because I think it's a really big thing. Connecting, to connect people together. It seems like this festival is not just like a lot of festivals that people are into or are attending, where it's okay, there's a couple bands on stage, I'm going to check out those bands. It looks like from an outsider's perspective that there's a lot of networking going on, and that it's really to help the artists grow as people as well as musicians together, because we're all stronger as one, right?
Exactly. But basically that's the main idea. Is it's always been that actually we wanted to give artists and genres that were not in the mainstream business. We wanted to give them like a special place and a huge spot for them to actually grow. And in the first editions, it was more of we were presenting weird or innovative arts or music genres or artists. But like the more we kept doing this, we realized that people were like, all the artists that we were helping actually, and even the public actually, they wanted to connect. So we just started to work a lot on the networking part of it, and like the festival actually is that's cool about the real festival. Normally, for example, if you come to the festival, you're gonna hang with all the bands all the time. Like there's so many bands and music business people in the rooms. It's kind of crazy. You never know who you're gonna get ending up drinking beers with one band or another.
So obviously there's a spotlight on francophone musicians and bands. How important was it to create that platform for French bands and musicians?
Well, that's coming from where I'm coming from, actually. Like I said, I'm from Quebec City. We speak French there, but most of our artists are singing in English. And
Okay.
I had a band. I toured a lot in the scene, the punk rock and hardcore scene, like for the last 20 years. And what I saw actually is that there was a weird cleavage between the French industry and the English industry, and we were like, as French speaking guys singing in English with like a total punk metal kind of vibe that wasn't represented in Quebec at all in our industry. We were like, why do we have to go to Europe and France and Italy and Germany and tour in Toronto and Vancouver and have the best friends over there and create bridges with them? And when we come back, there's nothing left for us. There was we felt there was a fake industry, like a fake French industry that wasn't representing what was really happening in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's coming from. And when people like maybe 10 or 15 years back, there wasn't a music scene in Quebec, actually, in Quebec City. I actually, everybody was going to Montreal or Toronto, and we like maybe like 10 or 15 years, bands started to stay in Quebec and tried to, probably because of internet, actually, because you can network by yourself from where you are, and slowly the bands kept working and living in Quebec City, and the bands actually finally realized that they could sing in French and create great music, things that we thought wasn't possible, like back in the days 20 years ago. If we wanted to have a great band, we would never sing in French.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, bands kind of understand that they can do things that are great in French, and we want to help them create in French or in Spanish. Actually, we don't. Our vision is that we don't mind the language we sing in. When you vibe on a song, you don't even bother about the language,
Absolutely.
Like, when I grew up, I was listening to English singing bands, and I never had any clue about what they were saying, and I had the vibe. So I was like, music. It's all about the music. It's not about the language.
Absolutely.
So that's why we've started to promote these kind of bands, and to also to give English singing bands opportunities in Quebec City. Actually, we wanted to give them a space and to stop having that duality of, okay, you're in the French circuit, or you're in the English circuit. No, that's all the same circuit to us,
I like that. Connect it, right?
Exactly.
So I got a question for you, because you've done this festival for a couple of years now, and I assume otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. You've had some really good moments throughout the years. What is your favorite moment, if you could put your finger on one moment of the festival? Whether it was seeing somebody perform, or just like a weird story you have in regards to it. Can you tell me some?
There are many stories. First of all, since it's all about networking and having fun, we're probably one of the festivals that where there's the most beers drink in all the festival. We give tons of beers to everybody. Everybody's drunk and having fun, and this sometimes this creates weird moments. I remember we threw an office party maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, so something like that. And at the last minute, we've decided that in 2 days we're gonna put on that big party in that office, you know. And it was a small place, maybe a 20 employees business. There was place maybe for 100 people standing up, and we've invited a few bands, and one was Hubert Lenoir. I don't know if you know that guy, but in in Quebec and in France and everything, this guy he blew up. Like maybe 3 weeks after the festival, he blew up. But at the festival, it was his first show ever, you know. And that party was kind of insane. Like there was so many people in that party. Imagine your parents' house with 5,000 people in it. That was about that party, you know. It was so crazy.
I love that DIY idea. There's a lot of people that have come on the podcast who grew up in the punk scene or have come up in the punk scene over like the last like 15 years.
Yeah.
And the best stories are honestly the ones from the DIY festivals and shows, because it's just like, it's unbelievable some of the stuff that goes down in those. And there's a lot of booze.
And like, for example, we each year we try to have all the gigs, all the venues. Normally they are at the same spot on the same street in Quebec. Mm-hmm. So we have like 8 or 7 venues, something like that, in maybe 500 meters. And when the shows ends at like 2 a.m., something like that, everybody goes at the same small market and like everybody goes get cigarettes and that place is they do poutine and like hot dogs too. It's kind of it's a weird market, 24/7 market. And everybody, like, it's kind of the unofficial after party place.
Okay.
So sometimes the party gets like lifts off at 3 a.m. in the morning over there, and we are 200 people in front or inside the place. It's a small place. Everybody wants to have the drinks in the fridge, but you know.
They must love you guys. Just the business comes in all at once, and they're like, "Well, we don't have to pay rent for a year." So, I'm definitely coming to this festival next year. This year, I will be tuning in online. 100%, I'll be there. But when COVID ends and you guys do them in the future, I definitely want to come to one of these festivals, because I think this would be a really good time for sure.
Where you're gonna be more than welcome, my friend, and we're gonna have a few beers for you.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. I like my beer. So, yeah, what was I gonna ask you? Is there a certain band this year that you're really looking forward to seeing?
This year, it's a strange year since it's like we had so many different rules to work with, you know. So we have a bunch of bands that we like. We're actually making a band called Osgang Plaza.
Okay.
That's really cool. I think they're from Belgium, actually.
Oh, sick.
It's hip hop, and we also work with. We had a band called Dogo Suicide that is really, it's kind of a, it reminds me a little of Mets or something like that. Like it's a kind of punk grunge vibe, very very, very noisy.
Mm-hmm.
I really like their gig. We also have a great artist in Quebec called Narcisse. It's a it's a transgender, like it's not he's not a transgender, but he's kind of pro identities, like diversity identities. So like it's kind of a electronic French pop
Okay. Cool.
but it's very provocative, you know.
Yeah.
She's all naked on the stage, and like there are dancers, and it's a really punk attitude, but it's the sound isn't punk at all, and like there are choreographs, and the show is really really great.
Yeah.
I love what she projects, actually. I really like what she's doing.
Sounds like you got a bunch of really good artists on and bands on this bill, and I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm gonna have to do some more research on these bands. I mean, I took a look a little bit, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to dive into this deeper before the actual festival. Um, for people, in order to get tickets for this and see more about the festival, how can they do so, Patrick?
Well, we're gonna announce the program on Monday, so it's February 1st, I think. Um, the tickets will be available on the website, so it's Phoque, like Phoque off.
Mhm.
So Phoque like a seal. uh, phoqueoff.com, and you also have the tickets on the pointofsale.com.
Mhm.
If you are a musician or a music business person, like for example, you are a media
Mhm.
that works in in the music,
Mhm.
so you get to ask for a pro badge,
Yeah,
actually.
I got mine.
So yeah, so you get to ask for the pro badge, but like all the artists are invited, all their managers are invited, all the labels are invited, all everybody's invited. And if you work in the music business, you can ask for that pro badge. And if and when I say music business, it's not the music business as you picture it, but like if you actually have something to do with music, basically, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
that's our vision.
yeah,
And if you're not, and you just want to discover bands, and you're a music lover, actually you can have that badge on the same spot at the pointofsale.com.
Mhm.
And you'll, instead of having all the experiences in the during the day, because the professional version of the festival this year is going to be during the day,
Mhm.
on the normal business hours, because people work, so
Yep.
they're going to be working and networking in the festival this year. But all the public side is going to be by the evening. It starts every night at 8 p.m. Each night you're going to have a bunch of bands playing for 2 hours long. It's all 20-minute sets, so that's what's cool about the festival. Actually, many people love the factor of being able to discover a huge amount of bands in a short term, and then
Mhm.
you go back and you discover, if you dig someone, you just go dig deeper in their stuff after that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, those are the two ways to get to the festival this year. It starts on Friday the 12th, so in 2 weeks, and yeah, the festival starts on Friday night, and all the professional activities are going to be during the week from the February 15th, so the Monday to Friday. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. All right, Patrick. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, brother, but I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. I'm really excited for this. I'm going to be tuning in for sure. I know I got my media pass already, so I'll be sitting back with a cold one and watching these. And yeah, man, I hope it all goes well. I know it will. And you stay safe, bro. All right.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. Thanks, man. You take care.
See you in the VR world.
Absolutely. I'll see you in the VR world.
Cheers.
Cheers.